Alright everybody, thanks for joining us. We're doing a quick week 2 review, and then we're going to do a preview of what's to come next week. So what we did this last week, we did supersets. We kept the same workouts, chest and back was on our Monday, and then our Tuesday was legs and shoulders. Wednesday was a rest day. Thursday was a caveman day or a natural day. That day is not really supersetted, it's always circuit based training. And then our Friday was our arms and calves workout. So with supersets, if you guys go back and watch the videos, rest time's really low. So if you're training with a partner, you know, I'm going like chest and back, for instance. We started out on dumbbell press. So as soon as I get off dumbbell press, I go right over to bent over T-bar rows. Now that's Tanner's rest time. As soon as I finish those two, he gets on and goes, and I'm resting while he goes. So at most you're getting a minute rest time within that. And we did that throughout the whole week. We tried to superset opposing muscle groups, but on some of the days, like on the legs and shoulders day, we supersetted the best we could within legs and then within shoulders. And then week 3, this coming week, starting tomorrow, is going to be
pre-exhaust week. So essentially with pre-exhaust, the theory behind it is you start with the isolation movements, the simpler muscles and the smaller muscles first, and wear them out so you can work into the compound muscles and really have all the stability and stuff worn down more to where it targets the chest or the back or whatever it may be more. So for example, tomorrow, which is chest and back, we'll start with the very last, so pretty much switch the workout. It'll start all the way with rear back flies, right? Start with rear back flies, go into lat pull downs, and pretty much work backwards to where our last movements will be the flat bench press and the T-bar row and the incline bench press and the wide grip row. Those are the more compound movements, but we'll do those last to pre-exhaust our body beforehand. So you may not be able to go as heavy on those compound movements as you did in week 1 or week 2, but that's all right because it'll completely shock your system. You'll be way sore, and you'll see good results from that.
Yeah, and the whole point of the pre-exhaust, when you get to those final movements, so say your last thing is dumbbell bench press, if you're lifting the same amount as you did last week easily, you didn't work hard enough at the beginning. So you really want to blast those isolation movements that were normally at the end that now we're putting at the beginning. So take advantage of those isolation movements. So by the time you get to your last compound movement of dumbbell bench press and bent over T-bar row, that it takes everything else is shot, so all you have to use is your chest and your back. It's going to be difficult, and we're also supersetting it too, just to due to length of workout. We're starting to cut down our rest times. 60 seconds is pretty much what we're shooting to stay under. We don't need a whole lot more than that. But
yeah, like he said though, don't be so concerned with the weight. Don't be concerned with hitting the same weights as the week before on this pre-exhaust day. Just listen to your body. You'll feel pretty worn down when you get to those compound movements. So focus, keep your form tight, keep everything locked in, and just try to get the rep range 6 to 8 on those movements. So
yeah, and if you get one more thing, if you get to your last, I don't know if you guys noticed in some of the other videos, what I do lots of times, it's hard to know from week to week how much stronger you've gotten or if you've gotten weaker. I always go up in weight, generally, unless I'm not feeling good. Now when I go up in weight, say it's 6 to 8 reps and I get to rep 6 and it's really easy, I want to be failing from 6, 7, and 8 generally, to where I need some assistance for 7 and 8. If that's not the case, if I get to 6 and that feels easy, you'll notice we'll slow our reps down to where we're going really slow and controlled on the way down. We still try to explode up, but we treat it more like a negative. So also throw that in there.
And another thing too, a lot of times you don't have to necessarily go up in the total weight on your last set. You can increase the total volume you're doing on your exercise. So if you're doing 3 sets of 6 to 8, and with week 1 you did 60 pound dumbbell flat bench, and then you did 70, you did 80. Week 2 you could come back and do 65, 70, 80. So even though you still ended on 80, you did 5 pounds more because you started with 65 instead of 60.
Yeah. So, and if you get to 8 and you're like, oh crap, that wasn't hard, go to 10. Yeah. Your body doesn't know your rep, all it knows is when you're failing. So if you're doing 20 reps, if you're doing 10 or whatever, 6 to 8 is more of a strength mass mixture, so that's kind of what we're aiming for. But if you don't get it, don't just put it down and go to your next exercise. Push it until you feel that fatigue and failure point. But
And you can make that on a note as on your workout sheets for next week.
yeah, we keep notebooks. We'll talk about that later, what we do. We write down every single rep, every single weight, everything we do, so we know for the next week how to improve. But
Yeah, so make sure to subscribe, like the video, and stay tuned for this week's workout. Thank you.